Sonny, give me a little history about Beck's Hybrids.
The company started about 77 years ago, really in a field with the planter that you see beside me here, when my father and grandfather received 3 acres of seed corn from Purdue University each, and planted it with the horse-drawn planter, and so it started in 77 years ago, and hence we moved fast forward to today, where we market in about 8 states now. We've added 2 more states this year, 2 more parts of states, parts of Iowa and parts of Missouri. We have about 400 employees here today. Company tends to grow by in the neighborhood of almost 20% per year, every year for the last 40 years actually. And that's in the number of bags of corn, soybeans, and wheat that we do sell out the door. We sell through dealers and also through farmer dealers, also through agricultural chemical companies, and we sell direct from our home office here.
What are some of the big changes you've seen in the agriculture industry from the time when you started to today?
The biggest changes I've seen in the industry since I started was we started with double cross corns. That gave the farmer about a bushel per acre increase per year during those times. Then we moved to single cross corns, and that gave us a couple of bushels per acre increase per acre per year. And now for the past 10 years we've been in the biotechnology age, where with traits which can protect the high yields that we can breed into corn nowadays, we're at the point where we can get about 3 bushels per acre per year increase. So those 3 segments, every time you see one of those in history here, you've seen a big bump in yields. And that's the reason, we're flirting with 300 bushels per acre, and in many cases hitting that nowadays. And certainly a lot of fields well over 200 bushels per acre, even though our average, U.S. average, still flirts around that 155 to 160 bushel range. The biggest change is that as compared to before 1937, when the average corn yield in the U.S. was 31 bushels per acre. And we've come from 31 bushels per acre to over 150 bushels per acre in my lifetime.
Beck has grown exponentially over the years. What are some of the things that make the company and puts the company in a position to grow like it has and to be the type of company that it is?
We did a pretty significant analysis in the early 90s when the university asked us to try to determine what the future of small and medium-sized seed companies would be 10 years from then. And when we analyzed things, we decided, every industry tends to narrow down in America as it becomes mature. Hence, my dad could have named 80 car companies that all narrowed down to about 6. Banks were narrowing down and so forth. So what was our seed industry going to do? How would we survive if 250 seed companies were going to narrow down to maybe only 5 or 6 brands that would be viable in a given region? And so we said, there are a whole bunch of us that are very good production companies, but we really don't spend enough time helping our farmers understand what we have, understanding how to farm better. And so we set out to change from being a production company that happened to market our products to being a marketing company, meaning we're going to help our customer make money on his farm. Make money that he can support his family, grow his family, and maintain better yields on his farm. Now, if that means selling seed, fine. If that means helping him with fertilizer, fine. If that means helping him with what population he's going to plant, then that's fine. We were already doing projects in the early 60s already on types of agronomic things that the universities used to have money to operate with, and they don't anymore. And so we took on those projects. So then in the 90s, we ramped up those projects to become a major part of our business. And today we have over 75 to 80 studies just helping farmers to farm better, how make more money on their farm. All of these things is what has really allowed us to work more closely with farmers, because when they use our seed, they also getting additional information. And even if they don't use our seed, we publish this information on the web. It's perfectly available to anybody that wants to go in and look at it. But that, on the other hand, builds sales, because farmers, appreciate the help that we've given them for free, and say, by the way, what hybrids would you like to put in this field here? Because when you think about it, there are hybrids that work over the entire United States, the Midwest at least, and there are hybrids that work in a very narrow zone. We have been able to identify those that work in a very narrow zone. And by doing that, we will have over 85 hybrids in our price book. A major company might only have 85 or 90 hybrids, maybe 100 for the whole United States. And we only sell in 30% of the market. So you can imagine that we can zero our hybrids down to fitting on a particular soil type. In other words, you've got the prairie soils that were developed under grass, very deep topsoils. You've got the forested soils. You've got the soils that, as we get from the middle of Indiana and into Ohio, we need more disease resistance. As we go from the Mississippi River and west, you need less and less disease resistance as we get clear out to Nebraska, when very little disease resistance sometimes is required in a hybrid. So it's a different hybrid that's required in different zones, particularly as we move to the south of I-70 and as it goes across Indiana, as it goes across Illinois. It takes a different hybrid there, and so forth. So these are the type of things that we've decided we would be better at. I call it better at marketing, but it's really better at helping farmers understand the characteristics of their farm, the characteristics of what populations they use, and then putting that right hybrid into those fields.
2 more questions. Big picture, what do you think are going to be the big challenges for agriculture moving ahead?
The big challenges for agriculture moving ahead in the near term are going to be able to learn to maybe operate with a little less cash flow that we've had here the past few years. We've had some $6, $7 corns. We had land prices that were lower than they are today in almost every region, and therefore, as those land prices now caught up to where they probably would be at $6 and $7 corn and $12, $13, $14, $15 soybeans, as we move back, and it looks like we have moved back, and we'll probably continue to stay with lower priced corn and so forth, $5, it may well be $4, I don't know. Will soybeans be below 12? I don't know, but I do know it's going to be more competitive, and I think we have to learn to tighten our belt just a little bit. We have to learn to make sure that that we're not overspending in our family expenses and in our just all kind of purchases that we do on the farm, because the money's not going to be as high, I believe, as it has been for the past 3 years. So I think that is one thing. The other is using what traits you need and don't use what traits you don't need. If you need the rootworm gene, then use a trait with rootworm. If you don't need it, then save some money there and don't use it. Some people are even looking at maybe conventional corn. If they're having weed problems and they have to use lots of chemicals anyway, okay, should they cut back and use maybe a different form of weed control so that they do not get a buildup of certain weeds on their farms and so forth. So they're going to have to become farmers like we were when I grew up. When I grew up, we had no chemicals, very few anyway. Atrazine was just coming into play, and we had to farm to learn how to grow crops with very little chemical weed control. And so we're going to have to be better farmers from that standpoint in the future.
Final question. You are being recognized with NAMA's top honor. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts, some of your feelings, and some of the significance of this award for you, not only you, but really for Beck as a company.
the NAMA award that our company is receiving, and I say our company is receiving, is that I really view it as an award that has been gotten by our team. And I certainly get to have the chance to stand up as a coach and hold the trophy up, and everybody, the crowd can cheer for my team, because that's really, it's not something that you do on your own. The NAMA award is a combination of all of our people in marketing, all of our people in production, processing, of doing the right thing, taking care of their customers, of helping the company grow by, as we call it, the platinum rule. Treating the customer like the customer wants to be treated. That's a little bit different than the golden rule. But treating the customer like that person wants to be treated. And so our team has rallied around that in helping our customers make money on their farms and be able to have time and things with their families so that they have a successful life. And that's what our company is about, is helping our customers have a successful life on their farm. And so, yes, thank you very much for the NAMA award, and I accept it for our team.